Good morning, good night, or good evening, everyone. And today we've got Rolkatsuki again in Flandre. So he's divvied up with Graf Zeppelin, Bismarck, Zeiten, Flandre, Charles. I'm never gonna pronounce that ship name. And Cunberti. So we've got a secondary machine here. Germans and, well, secondary heaven. Now, Flandre is just a ridiculous ship. And the amount of secondaries. It doesn't have the pin. If anything, you have like Massachusetts pin, 21 millimeters, maybe a little bit less of armor pin. But the sheer quantity they shoot out is ridiculous. Now, spawns are going to be easy. 1 line, 4 line, 9 line. Now, in terms of HP pool, Flandre has actually one of the highest. I think it actually is the highest. It's 75,000. Vanguard, I think, being second with like 71,000. But again, it needs it. It's coated in 32 millimeter armor. And every ship you face in ops or randoms, whether that be any HE ship, pins that armor. Your whole deck is basically pinnable. So you're basically a squishy ship on, you're hypothetically tanky on paper, but in reality you're really squishy. The 33-second reload hurts though. But knowing Katsuki, he'll probably have close quarters expert and a bunch of skills active. No close quarters though. And right now you're seeing the sheer quantity of secondaries, and then you're seeing French dispersion. No citadels. Which is just, well, that's French for you. Oh! Wow! I feel bad for the Cunberti. He finally gets a citadel in the last, but wow, Cunberti really overextended and got punished for it. Secondary is the Yuhagi to death. But ouch, Cunberti, that hurts you. I hope he didn't have any blue boosters on or anything. I honestly did expect Rolkatsuki to have close quarters on his ship. I honestly did expect that. I didn't expect him not to have it. I wish we had like a French Luchance. That'd be just hilarious. Yeah, and the manuals aren't even at full strength yet. Does get a 5k chunk on that DD and the Moss though. Okay, now he's at full strength on secondaries. Charles is really getting hammered. The other two Germans aren't really even moving. I mean, the Zeiten's still in port. Yeah, the Charles, if he doesn't get out of there, he's gone. And the Bismarck, he's the only one really secondary in anything. I honestly don't know if the Charles will make it. I think this might be the end of Charles. Gets a fire. As you can see, yeah, the secondaries don't pin a huge amount, but the sheer quantity of them is what makes it. He might get the... And he does snag the Congo right before the Graf is able to Citadel with his bombs. But again, I mean, I'm glad the Zeiton's finally moving up to help on this side. And the Charles does make it back to port on so little HP. Like, so little HP. I mean, he's going to be basically useless for the rest of the match. Although I shouldn't say useless, he's going to be out of action for the rest of the match. He is going to go... He's definitely being very aggressive. The sad thing is, all those ships pin his armor. Well, except for maybe the DDs. This would be one of the times where you would really want close quarters. Citadel right off the bat, 13,000. Again, I really wish the Zeiton would come out and help. The two of them could just charge straight into this and just secondary everything to death. I don't know if he'll get... Nope. Shells are on target. Just didn't have enough health. Zeiton really doesn't want to leave that port. Charles kind of has to stay back. But he is in the repair circle, so he is getting healed. No Citadel, just overpins. Bismarck gets it. And the Shuriatsu is literally right on the other side of that island. Right there. I think he's waiting for it to come out. Zeiton picks it up. $8,000 plus the secondaries are going on it. Uh-oh. Ford picks it up. He's going to take a tour. Or... Oh. Ow. Momentum and inertia. Screws him over. It drops its torps already, and he still takes torps. The bad news is, if those are the Shuriatsu torps, were the York torps.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target.
Well, the good news is they are going to get it down. I was slightly worried there for a second. Those might have been the York torps. No Citadel. Cracked 149,000. He's still got 3 heals, so he can definitely afford to be... If he can kill these guys and then swing back out and hit the Rune and the Nagato, he's looking at least another 150k easily.
Reporting. Enemy cruisers entered the combat zone. They're chasing our aircraft carrier.
Only 9,000 out of 3 shells, which is unfortunate. There's a fire. He lets it burn. He can take the AP on his side, and that'll bounce. I feel like he's showing a little too much side. He bounced, but it's still arming. $8,000. Bounces those, but he still takes 2,500 in AP damage. Knocks out one of the torp tubes, so that's good. Gets another fire. DCPs. Misses. That's a permanent. Should pick it up right here. Yep, picks it up.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
And Nagato and the Rune are both looking at him. And then he's going to potentially have a Kitakaze shooting at him. It's not looking good. And Rune does pin all of his armor, since it is tier 9 and has that penetration. The overpins are what are hurting him. Like, let's look at his shells. Half of his shells he shot has been overpins. Fortunately, the sheer amount of secondaries being shot is whittling the Rune down.
The ship is on fire.
Des Moines picks it up.
Problem solved, sir.
So it's a fire. That would have been DCP'd.
This is Base Commander. Aircraft carrier Lexington reached base.
Takes a little chunk there. Misses the Citadel. The Congolese picks it up. Talk about a battleship's dream. He has a Musashi all to himself. DCP's that fire. He's still not out of the woodworks yet. He does get a heal coming up. Musashi does overmatch all of his armor. And then he's got a Nagato. That is fortunately driving straight. He has a permafire in Musashi. 254 and climbing. I would just do a straight drive-by. Bounces the Musashi shells. One Citadel. Had he probably just waited a little bit longer, he could have gotten probably 6 Citadels. So, I would have waited personally. Because you can outrun the Musashi. Right there. See, had he waited, he probably could have one-shotted it in one shot. I would have just shot the butt. So, he could have one-shotted it easily, but we all make mistakes. He did try to go for the cheek armor, but cheek armor just didn't work for him. Des Moines picks it up. I think there was a hit. Yeah. Again, a little trigger happy there. Should have waited a little, just a few seconds, and he could have, you know, probably citadeled it. But beautiful damage at 360 and climbing. Still. So, final damage, 364.